Hello everyone, I am Misfit and welcome to TransAnalyzer.com's Misfits Fantasy Sports. This is a series in which I discuss all things fantasy sports and Draft Analyzer related. I will personally answer user questions, fill you in on the current state of drafts for all the various sites, showing you how to get the most from your app and your drafts for all experience levels. In this segment, I am going to discuss the suspended players and where I think their value lays now compared to their ADP. Let's start with Bell. Bell is a player with all the talent and surrounding roster to be one of the top backs of today. Yet, he just can't seem to keep it together. Between bad choices and issues staying healthy, his value is taking a massive hit in my opinion. Insane people are still taking Bell in the first and second rounds. Do not, and I repeat, do not be one of them. There is no way he still holds near that value, and I would not even consider him until the fourth, and Forte and many others would have to be gone in order to pull the trigger. On top of his 4-game suspension, he cannot seem to stay on the field. He has not finished either of the last 2 seasons, and you know for sure already 4 games are gone. When will people stop drafting the flavor of the month, passing on proven talent for nothing more than speculation and hype? Suspended twice and not finished a season does not spell first or second round pick in any way. Far too much talent to even remotely consider this pick there. The mid to late rounds are for taking your shots. You do not use your early round picks on a player you know at best will play 12 games and will not return until week 5. By then your season could already be crushed. Sure, I drafted him a few times before the news broke, and I'll survive it most of my leagues. However, to want to start at a point loss to the entire league is insane and a very bad choice. I will survive in those leagues because I hit on my late round value in Arian Foster and others. But the news has broken since then, and that value is long gone, and mid-round value is now a lot harder to find. So by taking Bell, you must now also waste a decently high mid-round pick to assure that you grab Williams. And Williams really only has 4 legitimate games of value. Drafting a player in the first round who will only play 12 games at most and having to pass on other value for a player who will only play 4 games most likely is a surefire way to lose your season. And come December, I will be all too happy to say I told you so. Josh Gordon is another player I get asked about daily. Super talented with 0 brain. A guy who wasted what could have been a special career, yet all he's proven good at is making bad choices. Time after time, and this is not going to change anytime soon. I don't care how high he is projected, I will not risk him. People are already starting to overpay for him, bringing him way up the board. But why would one even consider him for 1 second over proven players who continue to make the right choices? I'll say it again. Stop passing on proven talent for the darn flavor of the month. Do not pass on a decent mid-round WR who is gonna play 16 games for a guy who will play 12 at most. And that's if he can stay straight for the next 6 months, which he has never done before, so why now? What's changed? People are laughing all about Manziel's issues, but forget the part about where he is living and who he is out with half the time. Yeah, well, most of the time it is Gordon. Do not be surprised your hopes are crushed when you put your faith in nothing more than hype, totally ignoring the plain truth before you. Stop it with the hype train guys already. Year after year, they never pan out is what you should learn. Not to keep throwing darts while blindfolded. New for 2016, TransAnalyzer.com is proud to launch the new auction analyzer. You can add it to your current account for the introductory price of only $9.99. That's $9 off the regular price. One can import your league settings and adjust your budget and draft away. The Auction Analyzer offers many of the same features as our regular version of the app, such as the ability to target and avoid, access player info, and add them to your watch list. Of course, you will still get all the benefits of our optimized roster engines as the app looks throughout the entirety of your draft, recommending and adjusting both your optimal team and bids as the players are selected and come off the board. One can even adjust budget spending by both starters, bench, or by positions if desired. TransAnalyzer.com's Auction Analyzer. Add it for the introductory price of $9.99. In this next segment, I simply want to stress the importance of mock drafting. Do not overlook just how valuable an asset this can be come draft day. In fact, I believe that mock drafts are one of the best ways to prepare for any draft, and I would never even consider jumping into a money league without having done several first. I am not sure how many of you are familiar with the old board game Concentration. It had like 20 pieces of various shapes and sizes and a board you inserted them into. Now the obvious object of the game was to insert all the correct pieces in the right places before time expired. Does this sound familiar? Now the first time you tried this, you did not exactly do too well because you were not familiar with the board and pieces and how they all fit together. But each time after that though, as you become more familiar with the pieces and the board, your scores dramatically improve. Drafts are no different. Mock drafts suit the same purpose. Not only do they get you used to the draft room and site, but most importantly, they get you used to the app and where players will go on said site, so you know who to target and where. This allows you to get the most value with every pick. Never, and I repeat, never walk blindly into a draft room, especially if there is money on the line. If you want to play with the big boys, you need to do your homework and put in the time, just like they do. I don't care if you had a list prior to the draft of exactly where every player finished at the end of the year. You still need to know where to take these players and when. The only way to do that is mock after mock. The app and top projections obviously help you, but every league is slightly different. You know your leagues, you know your sites, you can dramatically help improve your own drafts. When it comes to drafts, always think Boy Scout motto, always be prepared. If you purchase one of our many packages which include ESPN integration, you will be able to import and live sync with ESPN's live mock draft rooms. This is an invaluable asset when getting ready for your drafts. You can just sit back and allow the app to update the picks as they are selected in the draft room. This allows you to prepare and test the various settings and draft slots, learning the ins and outs of the app and what is happening so you are not caught off guard come draft day. As I mentioned earlier, all sites are different and the ADPs on all sites are different. So please always remember to select a site-specific ADP source from the General Managers tab. When using an app, little changes for you in a draft room. This also ensures that you never get caught off guard or by out-of-place players on the various sites because the app will not allow it. The app remains the same no matter what site you are on. Nothing changes for you in the app. That's also a great benefit about using the app and getting prepared for what you're going to see in the draft rooms versus seeing in the app. Also, please do not be the guy who waits till 10 minutes before your draft starts to even open the app. If you spent the money on it, at least put in a little bit of time to learn how to use it properly. Don't think you are going to spend $50 on a program, open it, and 10 minutes later it is going to win you thousands. You need to spend a little time and learn how to manipulate the data to produce the best results. Again, only way to do this is through mock after mock after mock. Learn the ins and outs of the app. By the time you enter your draft room, you should pretty much know 80% of the roster and the players you are going to target and where you are going to do so. You should have a general idea of the various rosters produced in the various slots of the draft. Nothing should come as a surprise to you because you have done your homework and planned well. It is also true that you need to nail your first picks, but nobody nails them all. That is where drafting depth comes into play. Always finish your mocks. I am a firm believer that depth is what wins leagues. All teams will suffer injuries or busts. It is those who drafted solid that will see the playoffs. You need to learn where your mid to late round targets are going to assure you get them on your roster. Far too many leave drafts in the first few rounds. There's just no point to it then. If you do not know who is going in the first 3 rounds, you really do need to study far, far more. It is rounds 5 to 10 that's gonna win your leagues. I cannot stress it enough. Draft for depth, draft solid teams, and avoid the flavor of the month players, and you'll find yourself in the playoffs with no problem at all. That's going to wrap us up this episode. Please let us know how you like the show in the comments below, or if there's any issues you would like to hear us discuss. You could also send any questions or any comments to support@draftanalyzer.com. I am Misfit, and we'll see you in the draft room.